Welcome to the Forged in Fire podcast. Meet your host, Nate Pharmer Eden, co-founder and CEO of Eden Capital, dedicated to achieving financial independence for his community, and Cole Farrell, founder and CEO of Vulcan Capital, a real estate expert with a passion for empowering others through education. Stay tuned for another episode right here on Forged in Fire.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Forged in Fire. I'm your co-host, Nate Pharmer Eden. Give me 1 second as I introduce my co-host, Cole. How you doing, brother? Come on stage.
Nate, what's going on, man? How are you?
Dude, I'm fired up on a Tuesday, bro. Like, we've got some exciting news happening. Things are moving in the right direction. Oh, man, closing coming soon for our most recent acquisition. How you feeling?
Dude, I'm with you, fired up. To anybody that doesn't know, you've been listening to our last couple episodes, we just had our big event. We had our webinar. It was super successful. So we got students running through our content and already hitting landmarks. So we're super, super excited. So a lot of stuff going on. Closing in a few days on our property. So there's a lot of stuff to celebrate. But without further ado, we'll jump into this because I'm super excited to be here with our guests, and I'm sure you are too. Let's hit a couple housekeeping things real quick. So first, please leave us a rating and review. As always, we can help educate and grow. Second, please subscribe so you don't miss an episode, right? Third, we have another event coming up. It's going to be a while, don't get me wrong, but details are below. And so, like you said, we just had a huge turnout and we're excited to kind of put the next one in motion. So it's early on now, but please go register for that. Click below. And lastly, buckle up. As always, it's going to be a good time and a hell of a ride.
Oh, dude, it's going to be so good. Oh, man. So today, my brother is here, Brian Harness. Call him BJ. This man, born in Kansas City, Missouri, moved to San Antonio back in 2020, and he's in tech. And it's a completely different realm from the real estate game, but he's found a way to kind of intertwine it. But it's enough from us. You got to hear it straight from him. So, BJ, how you doing, brother? Come on stage.
What's going on? Nate, Cole, how you doing? Thanks for having me.
Anytime.
Pleasure is all ours, brother. It's great to see you. It's a pleasure having you here, man. But tell us a little bit about yourself, man. Kind of what got you here, what brought you here. Fill us in.
Yeah, so, as you mentioned, from Kansas City, Missouri, born and raised there. Me and my wife, we moved here 2019 or 2020 was like the beginning of the pandemic. Like right when the pandemic started, we moved to San Antonio, Texas. So moved here, got family that live here. And so just wanted a change of pace in life, just wanted something different. So we ended up moving here. And I've been into tech. I do digital marketing. So I've been doing that. My business is KC Web Designs. I started that business back in 2019. I had always been doing a lot of freelance stuff, but then I started freelancing like 2015, and then I didn't think of like having a business or anything like that. It was only until like I had met somebody that I was doing a website for, and she really was just like, you need to like make this a business. You need to like, and at the time I didn't even really understand it. She's like, you need to like form an LLC, or you need to get you a business, and you need to like do this under a business name. And she kind of pushed me to do it. I still didn't know what I was doing. I'm still learning as I continue to go. But in 2019, then I had KC Web Designs, and so just been doing it ever since. I enjoy doing the digital marketing space, and within the past 3 years, going on 4 years next year, I do the KC Web Designs. We do digital marketing specifically for real estate investors.
That's
so
amazing.
just a quick little summary of that.
No, I love it. There's so much I want to go into there. So you talked about kind of doing it freelance initially, kind of someone pushing you into making it professional, creating the business, etc. And obviously you're here doing this now. So give me some more intel on kind of like why you chose this. Was it just something you're naturally good at? Like what drew you to this whole aspect? Why go into websites? Just why tech? Just more detail.
So getting into tech, like I originally I knew there was a point in time that I just knew that I wanted to do something. I just didn't know what it was. And so I remember I would just get on YouTube and I would see all these videos about, oh, I made $1 million doing this, or I made $1 million doing this. And I would just watch videos. And honestly, it was just out of curiosity. Like I didn't know, even growing up, I never knew. I thought when I was a kid, I was like, man, I'm going to grow up and I wanted to be an architect. Like that's what I wanted to do. I enjoy building things. I enjoy seeing things from square one all the way to the finished product. Like I just enjoy that phase, like that grinding phase. You see something and it's not all the way complete, but then when it's done, it's complete. I just always enjoyed that. And so, yeah, it was like 2015. I was really kind of searching for something that I wanted to do. I originally fell into music. I wanted to do music. I don't know why. I thought I was going to be the next. Who was it? The Dre Beats. I thought I was going to be the next Dr. Dre. I was going to make beats and I was going to do all of this stuff, but it didn't work out like that. That's what I envisioned at first. When I hear the instrumentals and I hear music, I thought I was going to be that guy to make music like that, but it didn't work out. And so it went back to the drawing board. I was looking at more YouTube videos and I actually ran across graphic design. So I started off in graphic design and I was like, oh man, well, maybe I can start with getting a clothing line. I wanted to do a clothing line. So I started trying to do that. Made the worst shirts you could ever wear. It was not good at all. But to that point, that led me to, finding something different. I came across the video about website development, web development, and it brought back those feelings that I felt like as a kid. Like, man, I enjoy seeing things that it's not there now, but you can build it, and then when it's done, it becomes that finished product. And so immediately I was drawn to it, and I knew it was for me because like so many times went by where mentally I quit. I was like, man, I'm not doing this no more. This is too difficult. I hate doing it. But throughout that process, you know what I mean? I kept coming back to web development. I kept coming back to digital marketing. I kept coming back to it. And I'm like, man, it's something about it, obviously, because I can't leave it alone, And so I knew it was for me as far as that space. And again, I just really enjoyed it. It was something that I could always come back to. And I just never got tired of it. Me, my personality, I get tired of things really quick. Things become routine and I'm like, okay, I'm done doing it. But this, I've stuck with it, and to this day, I still enjoy it.
Bro, I love that 1,000%, man. It kind of on and off the record. I would love to see and hear some of the beats that were made, and I would love to rock one of those shirts, man. If you selling merch, you gotta let me know.
Man, look, the beats. Now the shirt, I still in the closet. I'm gonna show you this shirt. I like the shirt. I keep it for a just so I can remember. You know what I mean? Just to remember. It's like, man, this is how this started, was because of this shirt. I like the shirt. Now the beats. I not only do I not have those beats, but that would be an injustice to let you hear these beats. Like it wouldn't be right, man. Like, so I think that would probably ruin friendships if I allowed people to hear these beats. So we're not even gonna take it to that level. Unfortunately, or fortunately for me, I don't even have those beats available for you. But just know that they're not your typical radio beats, man. You probably beatbox better than what I could give you on a soundtrack.
Oh, dude, I love it, man. I love it. And some of the things that you said really, really resonate deeply with me. And this was a little bit back when you were talking about becoming an architect and seeing things from point A, and then being able to kind of see the final product. And you have a vision, and it's kind of like, use an analogy here, looking at a puzzle, but you've got all the pieces everywhere. But you're able to see the whole thing even before somebody else can identify it. And there's like a lot of similarities, a lot of commonalities between what you've got going on. And now I'm seeing the correlation between and maybe I might be off bar, but where real estate also plays a picture, because Cole and myself also have that same kind of trait to where we'll identify properties and we'll find them, we'll underwrite them. But it's that whole vision to be able to say, hey, here's the story behind why we want to purchase it, but here's the game plan. This is where we're going to take it, and we're going to break it down year by year, and this is the final product, and this is where we're going to do our disposition or let go of the property. So hats off to you for identifying it, finding a lane, and becoming a beast at your craft, man. So tell me a little bit more about some of the struggles, the trials and tribulations on web design and formulating KC Web Designs and what you're going through now.
Yeah, man, there's just with anything, there's tons of challenges. And I think like one of the one of the difficult things, especially like we talk about, like I said, even trying to find what I wanted to do in life. You know, you look on social media or the YouTube, and all you see is video. All you see is people presenting the end goal of this is what I made, this is what I, no one shows you what happens in between that time. Like this person may portray that, oh, this is $1 million business. They may be in $50 million worth of debt. We don't know what. So when you look online, like you only see the end goal. But the truth is, yeah, there's plenty of struggles. I recently, you know, there's a lot of struggles. You know, it's trying to capture not only taking those struggles, but really like just learning from them. Like, and that's like I think one of the biggest ones recently. So again, I've been having KC Web Designs since 2019, but throughout that time, I recently, within, I think I want to say maybe 5 to 6 months ago, I had a period where I had to go back to a 9 to 5. I had to go back to work because this wasn't working. And it's more so about like taking that moment and being able to capitalize on it. Cause that's the difference between, you know, an entrepreneur and someone who, you know, they say, oh, my business failed, or, you know, it's the fact that no, it didn't fail. And even if it did fail, it's just a matter of you learning from it. So me really sitting down like, okay, why do I have to go back to this 9 to 5? What did I do wrong within the structure of the business? Because it's not the business structure, it's what I did wrong. So it's just a matter of finding out what it was that happened, and then just trying to fix it and just owning up to it. Like, hey, I'm still learning. Like we're gonna keep pushing, because again, this is just what happens. Like it's very rare that you start something and the success is immediately there. Now it takes time, and you just gotta learn from it. So yeah, I had to go back to a 9 to 5 because it was just a matter of, hey, bills got to be paid. But all of a sudden, you know, clients stop rolling in a little bit. It's like, okay, why are clients stopping to roll in? What are you doing wrong, or what did you do wrong to where clients are stopping? Or is it your marketing? Is it the message that you're like? What is it like? So it was KC Web Designs figuring that part out, and then being like, oh, okay, let's try this now, and like being okay with trying something, and then being okay with failing at it as long as you get back up and try it again. So that's just the most recent challenge. We're back to KC Web Designs doing it full time, but we did run across that phase where, you know, clients start slowing down, and it's like, okay, clients may be slowing down, but these bills keep ramping up. So what are we gonna do? We gotta figure something out, like, because at the end of the day, the rent's got to get paid, groceries got to be, you know, in the house. Again, I have a wife, so I have a family to provide for. So these things the life doesn't stop. You know, clients may slow down, but life continues to speed up.
I love that. There's so many things about that are so great, and so many like different nuggets. One, I want to go back to what you said about like not failing. You're like, okay, this is a hurdle. Let's address this. Let's figure it out and keep moving. And like you said, how many people would have saw that, been like, it didn't work, I guess I'm done, and quit. Like quitting is failing. We talk about this all the time. Yeah. You can't fail if you just don't stop. It doesn't mean, you know, you're not doing something wrong, like you mentioned. It's just pivot. And what I really, really like too at that time that you mentioned is you said, you're like, okay, let's try this. Let's do this. So you started experimenting, and it's always a matter of what is wrong, like you said. And it's not like wrong as in failure. It's just, okay, let's diagnose the problem. And something we always talk about, whether it's Nate and I or clients or whoever, is how fast can you get to the bottom of the problem and then fix it? And like you said, it's just a lot of trial and error. It's okay, this isn't working, test it, see results. Okay, this isn't working, test it, let's see results. And you just keep going down the line, and eventually it does work, right? Because there's no way in hell you can do all these different things and it doesn't work. It's just a matter of time and a matter of fixing things. So I love that you brought all that up. I want to talk about like kind of marketing a little bit. So when it comes to getting clients, like what does that look like now? What did it look like when you started? What have you learned in terms of bringing people on? And I ask this in the sense of people listening going, okay, I'm starting my business, I'm starting my real estate, whatever they're doing. How do you start marketing? What did you see work?
So from my personal experience, okay, we'll start with what I was doing at first. And to answer what I was doing at first, the answer to that is nothing. And so that's unfortunately why things fail. You know, again, it's me reevaluating, like, why do I got to go back to the 9 to 5? What did I do wrong? Well, you weren't doing anything, and that's the problem. Doing nothing is that's worse. That's the worst thing. You weren't doing anything, and it was simply because, you know, I had a circle of just referrals, and the referrals were were they were good. The referrals were good. And so referral based business is like the best business. You know what I mean? You really have to be, you got to be horrible at sales to fail on a sale that's given to you. You know what I mean? If somebody's coming to you, they already know your work. It's already sold at that point. So really, if you can't sell something that's already been sold, then I don't know. Yeah. So, and that's what, and so it was just easy. It was easy based business, you know, referrals were coming in. And so I just had the mind frame at that time that, man, this is great. Like money's coming in, referrals coming in, we're doing good. In my head, I never thought that there needs to be something that I do, that KC Web Designs does as a business to keep that structure moving. There wasn't anything that I thought I needed to do. I'm like, well, I mean, practically everybody else is selling it for me. I don't need to do it, you know? And so then it comes a time where, like I said, business starts slowing down. And at that point, you can't blame, I can't blame nobody else but myself. It's like, okay, well, what was I doing? So that was what I was doing before, nothing. And so to fix that, I had to look at what I like doing, because I feel like anything that you do, anything that you do, I feel that you need to enjoy what you're doing. Like I hate when I go to, it's maybe think like if you go to a fast food restaurant, you pull in a drive-through and you know the person behind it, they're rude or whatever, and I'm always the type that I'll be in the car with my wife. I'm like, man, they hate their job so much. Just go find something else. Go do something that you enjoy doing. Don't try to bring my life down today because you don't like what you're doing. So like that's what I try to live by. And even with like marketing, so there's so many different ways of marketing, and so I just had to start with like, okay, what would I enjoy doing? Because if I enjoy doing it, then I'm going to put my all into it. And I know that we can be a beast at it. We can do it, especially when you like doing it. You're going to find ways to make it work because you enjoy doing it. So with the marketing that we do now, one of the main things that we had just implemented was cold email. There's obviously cold phone calling and all of that, but that's something that I don't enjoy doing. I don't like talking on the phone. Even getting on this podcast was difficult. I'm not really, it's hard for me to talk, to do that. But the cold email structure was something that I enjoyed doing. And so it was just finding a way to make that work. So we have the cold emailing, social media, again, another hard part of my life as far as social media, because I'm not one to, I've always been the type to, you know, I don't want anybody knowing what I have. I don't want anybody knowing my personal life, because just the world that we live in, unfortunately, people start knowing too much about you, and they can take things and use things against you. So I've never been that type of person to do, but these are things that I had to start implementing within KC Web Designs in order to keep things going. And so now we're actually doing something about, you know, client acquisition, like getting new clients in. Whereas again, before it was strictly just word of mouth. I didn't think that I needed to do anything at that time, because I'm like, well, referrals are coming in. It's never going to stop. It's going to keep coming in. And then until it stopped, and I'm like, oh man, like, okay, I got to go get a job now, you know? So those are just a couple of things. The cold emailing, reaching out to past clients and being able to offer additional services, and then just being able to utilize social media to be able to try to get new clients as well.
Dude, this is so good. And it's listening to the growth and the development. The one key thing that comes to mind the whole time that you were talking is mindset. Like you had a mindset shift. Bro, I'm talking about, okay, well, I've got a client and I'm just going to live off of the referrals and I'm just going to sit back. I don't need people to know anything about me. I don't care about the social media. I'm not going to jump on a phone because they're going to take care of the sales for me and I'm just going to sit back. And then all of a sudden you're like, you know what? F that. That's not going to work. I need to be a little bit more proactive, and I can't depend on the next person to be able to say, hey, go ahead and make this sale for me and bring it right back to me. Instead, I'm now going to do kind of like a paradigm shift to where that's still going to be an avenue that we're going to be able to go down with the referrals, but also I'm going to be proactive, and I'm going to now open up a little bit, sort of open up the kimono, talk a little bit more on social media. And on top of that, I'm going to start reaching out to businesses myself so that they can see what KC Web Design is all about. Dude, mindset shift of an entrepreneur. I fucking love it, dude. That is awesome, man. Hats off to you.
Appreciate it.
Of course. So the next part I kind of want to dive into is you specifically work with real estate investors, but also we came in and we got to know each other a few years back because it was syndication. So where did that connection all happen, and why syndication route? Was that your focal point for why you wanted to build websites? And tell me a little bit about how that came up.
Yeah. So I'll go into detail, but the simple part of it was it just kind of like fell in my lap. It wasn't anything that honestly that I selected, like, oh, let's go into real estate. No, it honestly just was there. So in Kansas City, one of my close friends, he's in wholesale real estate, and he's really big into it. And we're close friends, so we was always connecting. We're always together, and he's always telling me about real estate and all this stuff. And honestly, at that time, he's telling me about it. I care because it's my friend. I care what he's doing, but I don't understand any of it. So, I'm just listening and being a friend, so he's telling me about it. And then the moment I start listening is when he's like, yeah, so I need a website for it. And then my ears perk up. I'm like, oh, you need a website? Okay, now you're speaking my lingo. Okay, I got you. Let's do a website. So I did a website for him. And it was a good looking website. It was really good. It accomplished what he wanted it to accomplish. And I had people reaching out to me just based off of his site. People that would get on his site, they would reach out to me. They're like, hey, I saw that you did this site. Can you do a site similar to this? And it literally started like that. So then I got into, syndication came because of, in that same realm, somebody reached out to me and was like, hey, I seen you do this site. Can you do a site similar? But here's what I do. I like, this is a syndication. And so I had to get, really understand, like, okay, what is a syndication? What does this involve? Like, do you literally want the same type of website, or what does it involve? And so then I did that website. And then again, the cycle kept continuing. Another syndicator reached out. Hey, I saw you did that website. Can you do one? So then it just became a point to where I'm like, okay, well, everybody can be there. There's tons of people in the digital marketing space. I mean, there's not just one company. So I knew that, okay, well, if KC Web Designs is going to thrive as a business, what can I do different, or what can we specialize in that's different? Because again, somebody can reach out to another company and get the same thing that I can do. So what can I do different? Okay, well, let's try to go into a specific niche. Let's go into a specific industry, because when you do that, you not only gain a lot of expertise on it, but then people start to look at you as the expert. So now people are looking at you as the expert, and actually you get more business that way, instead of just trying to be this whole, like we all know, you can't be what they say, you can't be a jack of all trades and or master at none. You know what I mean? Like, so I feel that if you pick one and you enjoy it as well. And so that was the other thing. I enjoyed working with the real estate industry, syndicators. It was enjoyable. And so I was like, okay, well, let's specifically work with that industry. Let's learn as much as we can, which includes, finding out what are some of their pain points, what type of challenges do they experience, and then not only that, let's try to find a solution for it. Because a website is cool, a website is good, but at the end of the day, there's websites that don't look great, but they make a lot of money, they perform well. So it's really more so about the functionality. What can I bring to the table as far as what can I offer you besides just the good looking? The good looking website design is going to be a bonus for you. You not only are going to get a functional website, you're not only going to get a system behind that, but you're going to get a site that looks good as well. So that's how that ended up coming about. Honestly, it was something that kind of fell in the lap, and we just took it and we ran with it.
I love that. And again, like it's cool to hear all these things that you mentioned that I just think are so powerful that anyone listening has got to pick up on these things. Like when you said, okay, this thing happened, great, universe kind of put it in there, and then you started running with it though, and you're like, okay, let me learn, let me dive into this and actually become good at this, let me figure out this niche, and then really push the boundaries and become the best at it. Like you said, not a jack of all trades, let's become an expert at this thing, let's be an authority. There's so many things there that just make you successful, and that's what's working, and I just think it's so powerful. So I love that you mentioned that stuff too. I'm curious, where do you see this going? What's your next steps? What's the vision look like? And then second part to that, what do you track as the business owner? What are your KPIs? What are things that you're looking at to know if you're successful or not, that someone else listening is like, what should I be doing or tracking?
Yeah. So, I mean, things that I'm looking at, or first off, where do I see this going? I want to be able to have KC Web Designs. Our goal is to be the go-to expert, the go-to digital marketing experts when it comes to the real estate industry. So anything that real estate investors would need, anything in the real estate field, we want to be that expert that you go to. Whether it's the all-in-one, your social media marketing, any of the all of the any CRMs that you're using, we want to be those people that build those out for you. Because again, we've taken the time and really dove deep into understanding what are the pain points, what's all involved, what are the challenges that they face, and we've come up with solutions to be able to solve those problems. So anybody in that space, we want you to reach out to us so that way we can be those that go to team. And in order to accomplish that, things that we track, we have to one things that we have to track is like technology is continuing to rise. Things change on a daily basis. So we have to make sure that we stay up to date with what's going on in the real estate industry. Like what are challenges may change from one company to another. What Nate may face as a challenge may be different from what Cole may face as a challenge. So everybody has different pain points. So really being able to widen out, being able to let those guards down and just kind of get out of the comfort zone and talk to multiple people. Like there's different challenges. So always being able to adapt. And that's some of the things that we track. What is still going on in the real estate industry? Did anything change? What's happening? Do they have new problems now that we can try to fix? So I think the biggest thing, it would be that, like, because at the end of the day, again, if I'm only providing you just a website, then that's not, I don't view that as sustainable in the long term. I have to always constantly see what are your challenges? What kind of value can I bring to your business? That's when people are going to start coming to you, because they see that I'm bringing value to your business.
I love this 1,000%. And I don't even think I mentioned this in the very beginning, but aside from being my brother, being my right hand there, taking care of all my IT needs, because that's definitely a lane that I am not going down because it is frustrating. We're also business partners. We're also allies, and you've helped me out for many, many years now, and we've got many years ahead of us to come. And that's ranging anywhere from assisting with raising capital, something that's a big pain point for a lot of the investors out there that are struggling, especially in this economy. Follow up and follow through. Once you send an email, what happens if they open it? What happens if they don't? How do you follow back up? Let's just say you've got 5 deals in the pipeline coming up. You've already closed a handful of deals. Are you still following up with your previous investors? When was your last touch point? Things of that nature are things that Casey Web Design is specializing in to make sure that you still are able to identify and align with those that you've worked with previously that are still your partners and those that are future to be able to come. So hats off to you. I appreciate you. Cole and myself, we value everything that you've been doing for us, brother. This is awesome. However, right now, I think it is time to put you in the hot seat. Cole, what do you think?
I think he's ready. I don't know if he'll survive, but I think he's ready.
Come on now. Actually, y'all, my internet is breaking up. I'm gonna holler at you. No, I'm joking.
And this guy say you do IT with the bad internet. Here we go.
Man, I know, right?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so let me go ahead and cue this up right now. We're gonna put the volume on here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna ask you a series of questions. You just want your first answer. It can be a long answer, it can be a couple of sentences, it can be a paragraph. We aren't really going to respond to it. We're just going to let you go, and then we're just going to keep with rapid fire, just throwing it at you in succession, and we're just going to see what we can come up with. How's that sound?
It sounds terrifying, but we'll see. We'll go with it. Let's go.
Let's do it.
What separates top performing entrepreneurs or real estate investors from the rest of the crowd?
Not giving up.
What's a daily habit that's contributed to your success?
Daily habit that's contributed to success: prayer.
What is a piece of advice that you would give to yourself if you were starting again?
I would say hurry up and fail so we can learn from it. Fail quicker.
So good. What is your favorite business book?
Business book, The Ultimate Sales Letter, Dan Kennedy.
We'll have to add that to the list. What is your favorite part of owning your own business?
Favorite part of owning my own business would be the fact that I get to, like we talked about earlier, the fact that I get to see something start from zero and all the way, bring it all the way to the end, And not only that, but being able to build something that I'm able to have for my family.
What is something new that you've implemented in your business that's helped drive your success?
Recurring income.
He did it.
You survived. You made it through.
Oh man, I gotta wipe my. Oh, it was definitely the hot seat, man. It was a hot seat. Nah, it was cool.
Love it. Well, BJ, I mean, it was awesome having you here and kind of going through all the different points. I mean, it's cool seeing from the very beginning, like you said, all these things that you went into and tested and you tried, and not like it failed, but you just didn't fit there and didn't want to do it. And then you eventually found the calling, found what you really liked and what worked out, what you're good at, and you started running with it. Then you dove deeper into it, learned it, had a couple pivots, and then ultimately just really even went further into it. And now you're here. So it's cool to see your entire story and all the challenges that you went through, but ultimately persevering, like you mentioned, and getting all the way to the end, or end of the beginning, whatever you want to say. So thank you for being here. I have two final questions for you. One, do you have any final advice? And two, where can people find you or get in contact with you?
Final advice. I would say, I mean, like advice, just like business advice, or like what type of?
Whatever you want. Anything final that you just want to preach to the world?
I would say, again, I think my biggest motto was like, just never give up. Always feel free to like try to get out of your comfort zone. There's things that you may not feel comfortable doing, but once you try it, not only do you begin to feel comfortable at it, but you may realize that like, man, I'm really good at it. So never be afraid to get out of your comfort zone, and then never give up. Don't think that because something didn't work that you failed, because you can be, as long as you can be down, but just never out. You know what I mean? Like people get up all the time. So that's what I would say. Just never give up.
So good. And where can people find you?
kcwebdesigns.com. You can go to the website. It's designs with a Z. So kcwebdesigns, DESIGNZ.com. And you can go follow the socials as well. KC Web Designs at TikTok and on Instagram as well.
Cool.
Or you can come out to San Antonio, Texas. We're here in San Antonio, so you can come here too.
There it is. We'll put your info down below in the show notes as well, so anyone can click and follow up.
I love it. And I echo Cole's sentiments. BJ, it's been an honor. It's been a pleasure. It's been a privilege having you on, man. Thank you so much for coming through, sliding through Forged in Fire. For everybody that's out there listening, get home safe. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your time. Enjoy time with your loved ones. Until next time, everybody take care. Peace and love. We'll see y'all in the next episode.
See you guys.
All right, y'all.